So I just know there's tons of questions, so I'm so excited about this group. Most of all, I'm excited about this group because writers are so weird. You are all so strange people. You are. Even aspiring writers, you're like secretly weird. So, so, no, that's, well, we'll talk about that at 1 o'clock. But I'm an editor, not like a psycho editor like Anna is, which is what you want. Okay. I also do ghostwriting. I'm a literary agent, but I also work with authors as brand manager and business coach and that kind of thing. So I want to bring a different perspective, and just I'm gonna push through this. You have an abbreviated version of my notes. If you want the full, with the like all the answers and stuff, I'm gonna try to say quickly. Email me and I'll send you this. And then there's an article I did a couple of years ago about a case study that I think you'd like. So, book development. Anna talked about this. Expectations. Why? The first thing I ever ask an author is, why in the world are you writing a book? Oh, because I want to just go to the mailbox and get royalty checks. Okay, then we need to have a talk about that. As Kinda erupts into hilarious laughter. So, a book can be maybe a business model, but a book is also the 21st century business card. Mine is out on a table, and I encourage you to get it because it's got all the same stuff I use with my clients. A book doesn't have to be just to go out there and sell. If it sells your speaking, or if it sells consulting that you do. This is a book that I did for a client, a business client, and she hybrid published it, and I'll tell you what that means in about 2 minutes. But, this book lands her 6-figure consulting gigs. So, if you print 12 books and each one lands you a 5-figure gig, then maybe that's a pretty good return on your book investment. So I just want to open your mind to there's all kinds of other ways a book can be good for you, can help your niche coaching business, or if it gets you speaking gigs. Because as soon as you have the conversation, oh, here's my book, all of a sudden your brand is completely transformed in the recipient's mind. Oh, you're an author. Okay, that's a whole nother level. Like, you must be for real, Matt, now that you have a book. You'll experience this. Oh, author, Matt Ham. Whole different deal than non-author, So good for you for doing that. So planning. Anna touched on that, so I'm not going to go into there, but let's talk about a book proposal. Does anybody know what a formal book proposal is? Okay, not many people. Formal book proposal is a business plan for your book. If you want a publisher to publish your book, I've gotten a publishing deal with an author without one, but that was like rare. So you need a formal book proposal. If you need a template for one, email me and I'll send you a template for a formal book proposal. Why does your book exist? Why do you think it's going to sell? Who's going to read it? What other books are out there like it? You spell all this out in a book proposal, because a publisher is going to do a couple of things. They're going to look at your book proposal. Before they even read it all, they're going to go to your website. They're going to see how many Facebook likes you have on your fan page. They're going to see how many Twitter followers you have. That could end the discussion right there, I'm sorry to say. However, I have gotten authors published who had just dismal social media numbers because they had a good brand and the potential was there. So if you don't know what a book proposal is, it'll help you write the book better because it'll plan the book better, because you're forced to answer these questions instead of like, well, I'm just going to pour my heart on the pages. Okay, some people can do that and be brilliant, but I don't know, if you're like me, I need to plan it out. I need to test the ideas. I need to see the chapter flow. I need to write chapter titles and then realize how horrible they are the next month and then write better ones. So a book proposal it'll just save you so much disappointment, okay? I'm zooming through here, folks, because I want to hear your questions. All right, so one of the ways I try to frame a early author discussion is this is your goal. This is what you got to think about. Someone's read your book. First of all, are they going to even finish it? Because if they don't finish your book, you failed. I'm sorry. Nothing personal, but if they never get to the end of it, okay? So let's assume that happens. They finish it. It's so well written and it flows and there's good words and, that they do that. But this is what you got to answer. Somebody just finished your book in Toledo, okay? They close it. What do? That's the most important question you can answer, okay? You hope that they're different and they feel different at the end of it, that it's been an experience for them. It's been a ride. Wow. Oh my gosh, I'm different because I went through this book thing. That's why books are so cool. The other thing you hope they do is they're going to tell their friends. How many times have you read a book and just go, oh man, you got to read this book, right? That's what you want. So work backwards from that. If that's the result you want, well then put in the work to make sure that's the result that happens. That's how a book goes from 500 to 5,000 or 5,000 to 5 million, is people tell each other, okay? It's not ads in magazines, okay? Or even PR appearances, which we do for people. We had an author on the Today Show a couple of years ago. They moved like 50 books as a result on Amazon. That was the blip. So it's all about having an amazing book, okay? And you can bake that in to your book proposal, to your planning. One last thing. This is another book I did a couple of years ago. And if any of you, who thinks financial giving as a Christian is just really jacked up? You've never got it. And it's been so abused and just twisted and it's just awkward and horrible. Rick is nodding his head. Give that to Rick, please. That's a great book that this author wrote. And you know what? People aren't rushing in to Mardell to buy a book on how to give money away, right? So what should we do with that book? Well, we said, who's going to buy this book? Churches and ministries are going to buy this book. And they're going to buy it in quantity. And they're going to give it to people because, as awesome as Ralph is not going to buy a book on financial giving because nobody wants to talk about it, right? So why don't we create a book business model that's based around people who want the message to get out, make them buy 100 of them, and give them away to people. See, there's so many different ways of thinking about a book than just, well, it's going to be in Barnes & Noble, and I hope somebody buys it, okay? You can do something about that. Stumbles across it, you got to make some noise. So that's, okay, publishing considerations. If you want to get published, the same rules apply if you're going to self-publish because it's a mean world out there. Okay, I'm a very niche literary agent, which means I'm really small and not really experienced, but I'm working hard for my little niche. I do business books and Christian nonfiction. Somebody like Anna who can do fiction or memoirs, I'm just in awe of. Okay, but if your website is lame, you're gonna get passed. Even if you've written Blue Like Jazz, okay, I'm sorry. So get your brand up speed. That's what we're going to talk about at 1 o'clock today because you'll all be back because you're going to eat real fast after our Q&A session. 3 different types of publishing. Traditional publishing, we know how that works. Yay, here's a check. Okay. Self-publishing. Yay, I'm writing a check. Hybrid this is what we did this book here. It's a combination of self-publishing and placement in certain bookstores, which is pay-to-play, okay? Hudson's bookstores in the airport, okay, which I affectionately refer to as the only bookstore people go to anymore. You can pay them money, and it will be front and center on the shelf. That's what we did with this. So, author owns all the rights, yet it's in retail channels. Pretty cool. And you probably can get a return on investment. Hold that question, Rick. I'm almost done. Man. Yeah, and this all applies to writing because if your end product stinks, it's not going to sell. Or if your idea is not fully crafted or challenged by somebody like Anna, who's going, you're great, but this sucks. then then you need to, it'll pay dividends for you. It's like anything else. A book is like building a house. You don't just go to Home Depot and just pick out some plywood and 2x4s and just start building. You got to plan it out and put it through the tests. Um, okay, last thing is your book is not your boss. I think it's a great blog on that on my site. But a lot of authors, they get their book out and then they mortgage all of their relationships. Hey, buy my book. Oh, please buy my book. Oh, rather than leveraging all of your social capital and brand to get people to buy your book, use your book to build your brand. Do you see the contrast there? So many authors, they just spill it all. They use up every favor they have. Please spend $7.99 on Amazon. Rather than the flip side, which is this book is going to help me get more speaking. Because as authors, just waiting for that six-figure book contract is getting rarer and rarer. Publishing business is in turmoil. Okay, in case you haven't noticed. So you should be intentional about other business models that your book can be around. Speaking is a business model. Consulting is a business model. I'm working on some online membership sites. Those are kind of a cool thing. So think about your brand. Think about where you want to go, because in 2 years your book's going to be old news. So what has your book done for your brand in that first year and launch? How does it position you as a thought leader? When that book's no longer the headline, you want to be the headline. So with that, let's have some awesome questions.
What do you think about those bestseller in a weekend where you pay somebody $2,000 to go away for a week and they take your idea and they tell you how to churn Amazon and whatnot so that you become a best-selling author?
I really don't recommend it. We've done some similar things that are more organic, not the stuff that just feels yucky, But there is some organic things, like if you plan all your marketing to peak on the release date, then chances are, and if you pick good Amazon categories, you're going to organically be able to capture some screenshots where you're number one in that niche category, and then leverage that. Does that make sense? Yeah, please don't spend money on, oh my gosh, I won't name names, companies where you write them a huge check to do what you could do yourself, and then to market it for you at several $1,000s. Please don't do that. Call me, I'll talk you out of it. I really will.
One thing that I just want to kind of speak to the folks in here, my business is insurance, and my talk this afternoon is not related to this, so I want to say here, my business is insurance, and the beauty of my business is residual income. And I think that one of the things that's so impactful with creating a business is a way to generate residual income. Book sales would be in a way residual income, but it's like you said, is that there's so many other resources that you could provide to folks. And I know something, I can't remember who it is, Donald Miller? No. Anyway, he was talking about how repackaging information, if somebody wants a video a day or one
Exactly.
course a week, or if they want a PDF file, it's the same information in 15 different formats, and different people are going to buy it. And so it creates this replicatable process that can just be there as a support structure for whatever it is that you do.
Exactly.
And it's just kind of creating this background thing.
So many authors get fixated on book, everything's book, but it's not book. It's ebook, it's gift book, it's videos, it's blog, other ways to monetize content, multimedia product, curriculums. So, any other questions? Yeah. Oh, sorry, Rick. Sorry, the lovely young lady behind you had a question. All right. Make it quick, Rick. Yeah, and they reordered. So, the first shipment went and they sold them and we sent them more. That's what you want. But it doesn't happen in a vacuum. We had PR, we had blogs, Business Insider did a feature on it, all timed around when the book. Oh yeah, didn't I just read that blog on Business Insider? There's the book, right here. I guess I'll buy it. Exactly. Yes.
I just wanted to say, countering everything you've done, get your book edited. You cannot edit it yourself. Hire a professional. Having worked in the publishing industry, having edited books, I can tell you right now, they pick up your book and they look at the very first chapter, and we can tell if it has not been professionally edited. We know the formatting and we know what it looks like, and they will take that book and discard it because they don't think that you spent any time or money doing what's right and getting it edited, so they won't mess with you. It's worth the money to get a professional, good editor, just like her. It is
Absolutely.
every penny, so do it.
Thank you for saying that. I have an author in Nashville who I'm working with. She is a Christian recording artist. She had a successful band. She's solo now. She is an amazing writer. Her life experiences, you just can't even imagine. And she is self-publishing because she was told with her, she has 15,000 whatever likes or followers, not enough. She got turned down by 3 publishers. She's a songwriter. She has published music. I mean, this girl, this isn't, she's been working for years and years in this industry. So she's going to self-publish, and she did a big Kickstarter fundraiser. And so I know that the reason I bring that up is because I know that the money is an issue. We all don't just have a few $1,000s laying around to put toward this. I don't. Maybe you do, but there are ways. What I'm telling you about Jenny's stories, because there are ways to bring that money in, and if you find people who believe in your story and who really want to back you, they will. She raised, her goal was $20,000 in 30 days. She raised $50,000. Yeah. So thank you for saying that. Please do not let the cost hold you back from doing things properly. Exactly.
I have a quick question. This is something we kind of argue and debate about as far as platform goes. If you had to pick a ballpark number, publishers are looking at numbers. What sort of social media following do you think they're looking for? I know they can't tell the difference between a hardcore follower and ones we pretty much manufacture on Twitter.
Right.
Still, what
I-
sort of number are they looking for?
My experience, kind of the magic number with publisher is 10,000.
Really? Is it?
But, well, it depends. It depends on, if you're just starting out. I mean, but if you're, what's that?
Yes, you did. I can fix 10,000.
But there's not a magic number. The thing in the article that you have, that guy had like 200. Yeah. So here's something I wanted to really also make clear, and that speaks to your question, which is what you want if you really want to get published. First of all, you're insane because it's so few, but go for it anyway. Okay, that's a good kind of insanity. You should believe in your idea strongly enough to think that it should get published. Okay, and then if it passes the Anna test and the me telling you this idea sucks test, then it might even just make it. Okay. But you want a publisher that believes in you, not just your book. Okay, you want a publisher that says, this book's kind of okay, but I think, there's something here, or the market is really responding to this subject or this kind of person right now. So that's why it's so important to have your brand dialed in, so a publisher can go, wow, that's the kind of person I want to get behind. And we can work on book ideas, but you can't replace that person, Corey.
What is your thought on, when I was at Storyline, Anne Lamott said if she was starting out, she would self-publish. So do you agree? Do you feel like publishing, the traditional publishing industry is just pretty much, she said, like, her own words, that she felt like it was dying. And it wasn't worth it for new authors to even pursue.
My quick answer, and then I'll defer to Anna, is I think you should craft your brand and your book like you want a publisher to publish it, because that'll raise the bar, you know, rather than my book, which I spit out for just you guys this weekend because you inspired me to finally start doing something for myself, okay? But that's an exception, okay? That's my apology if there's any. Oh, don't read it, Anna. So don't look at the
Wait to read it.
formatting.
He's brilliant.
There
I'm
is great
setting this
ideas.
up.
I promise you, it's the same stuff clients pay me to tell them in that book. But go try to get published, because why not, right? But if you don't, your book will be better if you have that mindset and you jumped through those hoops. Does that make sense?
Question.
Yes.
So,
You already had one question.
I know, can I have another?
Yes, sir.
May
When,
I have another?
when do you know that a book is complete?
Oh, there. Oh.
When Anna says so.
There's a quote, and I've seen it credited to several people, from Oscar Wilde to, I think when I wrote in a blog, I credited it to him. Books are never finished; they are abandoned. And it's like a painting; like you just walk away. Like you could work on it forever and ever and ever.
I think a good book you will.
I know. Books are never finished; they are abandoned. Just walk away. Just walk away. You'll know when you're ready to release it. I think you'll know. And to the Anne Lamott and the self-publishing, it seems like everyone I'm working with wants to self-publish, and it's not as a consolation. It's like, this is the choice I'm making, because I read that Anne Lamott quote, and she's very successful.
Yeah.
But to get in with a publisher now is so difficult.
Could it also be to our now culture that we're in? It's like, okay, well, if I've got the money, I can publish it today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you get the
Just add
garage full
water.
of books I talk about in that article, which so many people have. Here's another quick thing. Somebody asked a question about endorsements. Oh, I heard that. Thank you for asking that. Nobody's heard of this amazing lady, okay? It's her first book, okay? So what do? We got 2 amazing bestsellers. If you're in the business book world, maybe you've heard of Keith Ferrazzi, Never Eat Alone, Who's Got Your Back. These are kind of networking business books. Well, he wrote the foreword, okay? So what do? You aim high to get an endorsement or a testimonial or a foreword, and his name is right there, and it's right next to hers on Amazon, folks. So when you're in Hudson's, you go, I don't even know how to pronounce her name, okay? But I like Keith's book. All of a sudden, this book in your assessment in your mind goes, boom, this is a worthy book, okay? It might be horrible, but it's packaged nice, and it's got a New York Times multiple best-selling author on the cover. Hello. And all these great people on the back. That's part of selling your book, you know? So,
How does that,
thanks for that question.
to tie into that, how do you approach someone like, hey, Jim Bob, I heard you and you want to read a great book, and then write me up. I mean, I've seen that kind of approach.
We
Well,
do
lean
that.
forward, Mike.
We do that, but you don't have to. Yeah.
think that.
If for some reason you just never want to talk to me ever again, then there are options of doing it yourself. But again, it's about branding. If I'll tell you, that person's personal assistant is going to check out your website and your social media before they even return your email. So, brand, 1 o'clock. Don't be late. Right here. So that's so important to your dream and to your book. But we just ask them. It's got to be so simple and quick. If it's more than 3 sentences, no one's going to read it. It's got to have a catchy subject line. And you can we cold called Keith Ferrazzi. And just said, hey, would you do, but we had positioned this author. We had her pitch down. She's a this. She's a this. She's worked in 4 continents and 10 countries and You know, we had her pitch down. We could articulate why somebody should care about her. We didn't just ramble, oh, I'm just a first-time author. I wondered if you'd even delete. It's the truth. You're really quiet in here. Randy's freaking out. He's like, oh, I feel it. Hurts me. Okay, last question. And then we'll hang out and eat tacos and
yeah.
talk books. I would love that.
And I'm going to give
But
everybody
please ask your
my
question.
card. He has.
Yeah.
We want to give everyone our card so you can get in touch with us.
If you get my little book, it's $10. I'll do a mini brand audit and a phone call for you for free. So,
do it.
So what's your
Well, this may kind of, well, I was gonna say, you're a niche,
Agent.
agent, so, like, if I'm listening to you and I'm liking you and I'm hearing what you're saying, but you don't fit my niche, like, do you know other niche agents?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because because I'm here. I'm so not here to sell. I'm here because you guys inspired me, and that's why I finally put something with my name out. You know, so that's a big deal.
Personal brand before we even.
No, get somebody to help you with that because you can't work on your personal brand alone. I don't think so. Okay, working on your own brand is like giving yourself a haircut. You could do it, but it's not going to turn out well.
Yeah.
Okay, Melissa's
There
awesome.
are people who do that.
Exactly. Yeah, I do that. Girls should probably work with Melissa because she's a girl. You know, but I have girl clients. I worked for her. But anyway, I will help you. I will help you for free. Okay, I will tell you what is awesome about your brand and what isn't because I love doing it. Anyway. I gotta shut up.
No, you're great. I want to reiterate when he said, you know, how to approach a book, even if you're going to self-publish. Still, do it. Be thorough. Do that book proposal. Do it.
Yes.
The quality of your work will just. It will stand apart from
It
others.
has to.
Yes, you have to. So absolutely approach everything as if you are going to be the top marketed book of the year for a publishing house.
Yep.
That's my recommendation.
Absolutely. Aim really high. Absolutely. Well, I love talking about books, so and I know Anna does. Let's get some food truck food and talk books.
Over. You guys, thank you for spending your time with us. Thank you.